What were your earliest influences?
Earliest influences, well, I hated music when I was a kid. That was the one big thing. I hated it.
So you're doing something, you know.
I hate, that's right. Every day I do something I hate.
Behind every hit song is an undeniable beat. So why doesn't anyone talk to the drummer about it? We're getting behind the kit with some of the best drummers in North America. This is Drummer to Drummer.
How much press would you do compared to other members of the band?
Well, press, I don't think I do any press whatsoever. I think that's a harder question to ask to me is because I am a session guy, so it's like, I'm not even a member of the band.
Yeah.
So let alone, because people don't want to talk to drummers already.
That's why we're doing this.
Even worse.
When it comes to making these songs your own, have you found that your approach should be play these songs as written or play these songs as Brad interprets them? What's your approach?
I am a personal fan of doing note for note. It's always been my favorite thing. Whenever I go to see a artist and they have a new musician, I always like to hear them try to get close to what's on the record because I listen to the record all the time. And so when I go to a show and something's different from the record, just because they don't know it, it's kind of like, well, I'm here to watch kind of the record.
So what's the process of actually learning the songs? How you just get these batches of songs, and how does it all work from start to finish to being ready to play a tour to, all the way back to learning these songs? How does that go?
Well, for me, it's a little longer. With Set the Whale, I was a fan of them before I was in the band. So I've seen them tons of times and I've knew all their records already. So I'd constantly play along to them in my drum shed. And so that was kind of the way I learned drums. So they're already kind of part of my repertoire already.
Tegan and Sarah's drummer, Brendan Buckley, for example, the whole mentality is I do this tour and then I might necessarily never play with them again. Mm-hmm. So how does your mentality go? Are you a permanent member of this band, or when you have all these tours coming up, it's kind of like, if I have the time, I'll play with them? How do you approach that kind of side of things? Because you have to be willing to walk away, but if you get connected, do you kind of pitch, maybe I should just do this full time? Mm-hmm. How does that mentality go for you?
I think it's tough because the band's in a position where they've just kind of gone to the three-piece now. And I'm totally cool with being a session guy and in the background. That's kind of what I love to do. And I love getting to play with a ton of artists, which is what I'm doing now. And I do, I'll do a tour with them and immediately I'm on a different tour with a different band. And I come home and do session work here in Toronto and do a lot of album work as well. So I always make time for Set the Whale. They're always the biggest priority, obviously, because their shows are kind of the bigger scale and a little bit more important generally. So I make sure that their tours are taken care of and I'm locked in for them, and then I book around them.
What were your earliest influences?
I wanted my dad to get me a kit, but he said he didn't want to spend $1,000 in case I played it for 2 weeks and then it was in the garage for the rest of my life. Yeah. So he got me the Rock Band video game, with the plastic drum pads and stuff. Yeah. And it was such a great tool to learn music on. And a lot of people remember the guitar and the buttons and the strummer. It's not good for learning, but drums it's pretty good because you have a bass pedal and you have multiple pads and 2 sticks, so you're still learning limb independence and foot independence, syncopation, because you're still playing things relatively hit for hit, just not on a drum.